All right, so we're continuing our notes from yesterday. Perimeter area of squares, triangle, trapezoid, parallelograms, rhombus, circles, kites, and regular polygons. All right, so we did first page, second page, and here we are on the third page. Area of a kite. Once again, D1 and D2 we defined on that previous page are the diagonals. So we're gonna. Okay. Okay, hold on. Here we go. So D1 times D2 divided by 2, right? So it tells us D1 is 12. It tells us D2 is 8. Okay, so we can. We'll need to make sure and label this. There's a typo. There's supposed to be a 3 here and a 9 here. Otherwise, you could not solve this. Okay, so yes. So let's figure out from here to here. It's 8 across. On a kite, those are equidistant. So it's cut in half. This has got to be half of 8 and half of 8. So 4 and 4. Okay. Now, we can use these numbers to figure out these missing sides because this is a right angle. Now, I'm not going to re-solve this, but if you have 3 and 4, this missing hypotenuse, we found out, like right here, 3 and 4, they give you a hypotenuse of 5. So, again, if you wanted to, you could do 3 squared. One second, one second, one second. And I am making this video at home, so if you hear my son in the background yelling, it is what it is. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 25. Squared is 25 is 5. So this is 5. This is 5. And then we got to do the same thing with 4 and 9. 4 squared plus 9 squared. Sorry, let's try to write that again. 4 squared plus 9 squared equals, and then you have to square root that. So square root of 4 squared plus 9 squared. 9.85. So that's going to be here and here. So for my phi perimeter, I'm going to add up all 4 sides. So we got 5 plus 9.85 plus 9.85. 29.7. And my units of measure are inches. So again, if you are missing a side, you have to use Pythagorean theorem if it's a right triangle. Okay. Now the area will be significantly easier because we know D1 and D2. D1 is 12, and then D2 is 8. So 12 times 8 divided by 2. 48. 48 inches, and remember, area is squared. So, sorry, my pen isn't working perfectly here. You just got to remember that just like a rhombus, the area is D1 times D2. Goodness gracious. That'll have to do. Okay, area of area of circumference of a circle. Okay, so area formula is pi r squared, and the circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, those are your two formulas that should have been what you knew from middle school. Okay. The only time this is slightly difficult is when you don't know the radius. So this picture, we do not know the radius. The radius is not 40. The radius is from the center to the edge, and that radius is 20. Okay. So r equals 20. So it's very important that we are able to find circumference and area. So C equals 2 pi 20. Now, when you type this into Desmos, you're going to click the 2, and then pi is right here, 20. That gives me 125.66. Oops. Okay, now, we don't have any units over here, do we? We do not. So it's just going to be units. Okay? Put a little U. Okay? And then area is going to be pi r, which is 20 squared. Pi 20 squared. So right here, you can press that pi button. 20 squared. And we get 1256.64. Units squared. Cool. Okay. Now, the only time this changes, okay, is if you're finding a fraction. So, like, you could be asked to find a semicircle. So, semi has a half, and if it's a quarter circle, it'll have 1 over 4. Okay? So that's all you got to do. Divided by 2 to get half, divided by 4 to get a quarter, and there'll be some examples on your assignment. Okay? Now, last but not least, the formula to find, to find the area of a regular polygon. There's two ways. One way, if it's an octagon, hopefully you know what that means. 8 sides. So, I want you to notice something. From the center to the edge, okay, that line, if you can connect this and this, you end up with a triangle. And that triangle is going to actually just repeat 8 times, you know? There's going to be 8 of these types of triangles. And forgive my pen, it's not working, but so if I find the area of one triangle is what? Base times height divided by 2. 8 times 9.66. Goodness gracious. 8 times 9.66. Divided by 2. We cannot forget to divide by 2. Okay? $38.64. All right, and then that's one of those triangles. So it's the triangles. There's 8 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're gonna do 38.64 times 8. Okay. 309.12 units squared, because we just found a bunch of areas. Okay. Now, the formula, this is important. It's going to be 1/2 little a p, or I like AP over 2. But it's very important that we notice that that little a, it stands for the apothem, APOTHEM, apothem. P is the perimeter of the polygon. Okay. So the apothem is the blank segment from the center. Okay. It is a perpendicular segment from the center to the midpoint of one of the sides. Midpoint. Okay, so again, it's from the center to a midpoint, and it's perpendicular. Okay? So let's do this. The apothem, the little a, is right here. 9.66. The perimeter is not just 8, though. 8, and it's how many times to get the perimeter? 8 sides. 8 times 8, which is 64. So our formula, A times P divided by 2, so it's going to be 9.66 times 64 divided by 2. What do you know? We get the same answer, 309.12. Okay, so whichever one you prefer, but I would prefer that you use this formula. Apothem times perimeter divided by 2. That is your nodes. We have covered the whole array. We've done area of a square, area of a rectangle, area of a triangle. Then on the next page, area of a trapezoid, area of a parallelogram, the area of a rhombus. And then we just went over area of a kite, area and circumference of a circle with the application of semi and quarter. And then the 2 ways to find the area of a regular polygon, multiple triangles, or the way I want you to do it is with the formula, the apothem. So let's, zoom in on this. Here's square, zoomed in. Rectangle, zoomed in. Triangle, zoomed in. Trapezoid, zoomed in. Parallelogram, zoomed in. Rhombus, zoomed in. Rhombus, kind of cut off this part. Kite. zoom in circles with semi-quarter. The two ways of doing polygons. But the real way I want you to do it is right. Yeah. Right. That's it.